the real reason everyone was there, us with all the party gossip, was the awards.
Oh yeah, we forgot
about the awards.
I know, but it feels so old now because it was last night, doesn't it?
I
It feels like a world away.
So look, Gary Lineker pulled off the ultimate upset. Nobody saw that coming. Finally knocking Ant and Dec off their 23-year pedestal as the best TV presenters. Now, when we learnt about this in the press room, a gasp went around the room. And I think that obviously we were very excited because it's a great story. But I would imagine that in most living rooms across the country, I'd love to hear what you guys think about it, because surely everyone else was as shocked as we were. Why do you think this happened, Ellie?
I think people were voting with their feet. I think people looked at what happened to Gary Lineker and thought it was deeply unfair. This is a classic. He said himself, I saw him at Glastonbury, I went to a talk he gave, it was really interesting, about the BBC just tying themselves in knots, and they don't quite know how to get out of it, because you're meant to be impartial, but if the weather's hot, you can't say it's cold. And that's the point he always made. And I feel like Gary just sort of, in my opinion, got unfairly thrown under the bus. And actually, he said his speech on stage was really passionate. What he said, I think, made a lot of sense and it resonated. And that is why, because I think people are looking at the BBC. This is a licensed, taxpayer-funded, licensed fee broadcaster. You know, that's what we pay our taxes for. And you're getting rid of someone who's a deeply popular person. You know, look at the montage at the end of Match of the Day and the people that paid homage to him as a great broadcaster. So I think people have just said, if I was Tim Davie, I'd have been furious last night, because you think, oh, for God's sake, he finally thinks he's got rid of it and it's all gone quiet. And then Gary Lineker, after you've got rid of him ultimately, because Gary didn't want to go, he was got rid of. He's just won a national television award. And you just think, what
God, that is the biggest FU, isn't
it? What a kick in the teeth. And obviously,
for me, it was the walking up on stage to the Match of the Day music as well. It's the ultimate.
That's the thing. You just think that Tim Davie would have been kicking himself, because you just think that was one of your greatest broadcasters, one of the best known faces, not in football, but in entertainment as well. You know, and is now going to sign this big new deal with ITV to front their show. So no doubt next year, if it comes out next, he'll get he'll be up for another NTA, not only a probably presenter, but maybe in quiz show. Who knows? But that's the thing, I think you just let this talent walk out of your door because of some tweets.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm super chuffed for Gary, but I do think you need to sort of look at Ant and Dec as well. And maybe there's an idea of maybe that they've been a bit complacent recently. I don't know whether, you agree with that, of that there's that idea that they assume that they're going to win because it has been 23 years, right? So what are they doing to make sure that they remain the favourite? What have they done recently to keep that going? I mean, they've just signed a big deal for I'm a Celeb to continue on to 2030. But we need to judge it like series by series, surely, and sort of like, what are you delivering right now, and why are you the top presenters? Why are we still entertained by you? Because there are so many other people who are coming up the ranks who want that shot. And I mean, you can even see, Sam Thompson, he's on the red carpet. You've got Joel Dommett up there. They're all sort of creeping up. And it's like, Ant and Dec must be starting to think, hang on, maybe this was a big shock for them last night, for them to sort of reassess things.
Well, definitely. I mean, you mentioned Sam. Sam and Pete are a double act in waiting, aren't they?
Yeah.
And, everyone loves them. So you are so right. Someone else having a big night was EastEnders Jessie Wallace.
Oh, bless.
Otherwise known as Cat Slater, my style icon.
You could be twins.
Yeah, you wear it well.
I did wear leopard last night. So Ellie, tell us all about this. This is the fab story. You and Amanda came across this. What happened?
Yeah, so Jessie's always the life and soul of the party. I think any party you go to with Jessie Wallace / Cat Slater is always going to be wild. Like, she's always having so much fun. And she was out. She was in there was a secret second room, which you guys were in. And I was like, this room's so intense because it was just full of so many drunk people. And I was like, this is awful. And left. And I think she was having a super time. And we saw her with Charles Venn, ex-EastEnders. Now is some sort of hospital drama. I can't remember if it's Casualty or Holby City. Shows my telly knowledge. And then some things appeared to have sort of sparked her off, and it was just suddenly Jessie sort of went from happy to heavy in 5 seconds. And then sort of you got lovely Scott Maslin, who's like the hero of the hour and was helping sort of sweep up errant cast members. And he sort of swept Jessie out sort of in floods of tears, and off she goes and gets put into her car. And you think, oh, poor Jessie, what sparked it? So we're getting to the bottom of that now to find out what went on. And to be honest, when I was speaking to the EastEnders PR last night, I was saying that room was incredibly hot. So she could have just been, emotional, warm. But who knows? But something sparked between her and Charles. Something was said and something ended up it being in tears. But then it was amusing because the soap stars always hit it the hardest. I didn't see many Emmerdale, but there were loads of EastEnders out last night, loads of Corrie. My favourite bit was obviously, we know the PRs well, they're all amazing women, they're incredible people. But it's quite funny to watch them zooming around the party trying to desperately get them back. Because obviously they all stay in hotels and what they don't want is people seeing them at their worst. And then watching Scott, after sort of depositing Jessie and helping get her into a car, coming back out to go and scoop up the rest. And I think he didn't leave till after, I think it was just 1 o'clock. I saw him then being put into a car. And then the EastEnders PR, who is absolutely lovely, seeing me and being like, I'll ring you tomorrow. And I was like, I think you should.
Yes, so let's have a chat. I saw Jack P. Shepherd desperately trying to be dragged out of that party room. We know he loves it. Because he just couldn't get away from people wanting selfies.
Oh.
Yeah, he was the real selfie magnet of the night. And the poor Corrie PR was dragging him. Jack, come on. And he was like, no, one more picture, which I love from him.
That's the thing. The NTAs is all, it's a lot. It's not as good as it used to be, and I hate to be one of those people that pipes on about it, but it used to be like stars everywhere. Feels a bit trickle-wardsy to me now. But the soap stars you can always count on. Only the after party, not the ceremony. The ceremony is amazing. The after party is like down. It's just not as good as it was, but you can count on the soap stars to always be the ones keeping the party going. I did see Michael McIntyre very proudly holding court with Bradley Walsh, and they must have had about 15 glasses of champagne on their table with just the NTA plonked in the middle, and they were having a great time. Like Michael looked like they sort of got the cream.
I love it when there's someone at that after party that you would just think would be one of the first to leave. Like Michael McIntyre, why was he at that after party?
He was loving it. He was the life and soul.
And James Martin. I kept seeing James Martin. But he was just standing in the same position with a very attractive girlfriend. And sort of people were coming up to him. And at one point, he did look a bit bewildered, as if to like, why am I still here? Like, I haven't won. And this party's not that good. Like, why am I here? But I kept seeing him. He was just everywhere.
It's like stepping into your television in that kind of event and to go and see them, but them all relaxed and being themselves and having a drink. They've just had a really, 2.5 hour show. They've been there enjoying it, having a few drinks, and then they go to the after party and they're just letting loose.
Yeah.
And there's just something so fun about being able to sort of, just like celeb spot all the time and celeb spot them celeb spotting. Because you do get them becoming they're getting selfies with each other because they're like, oh my God, I love you. And it's so much fun.
Absolutely. The other thing that I love is when there's the talk of the after parties. And my particular favourite was Philip Olivier from Brookside, Tinhead, was planning something in Clapham. And I was like, what's going on in Clapham? Obviously the other side of London to the O2, and I was like, do I want to know, is it Infernos? Can I do this to myself?
It would either be like a Clapham crack den, or it would be something actually quite good, and it would be an amazing party. But that's a risk to take. I think you were talking about taking that risk yesterday, and I was like, weigh it up, because it could be awful.